creepy voice intro. I just wanted to mention that the upcoming clip I tried to import into my video 1,000 times, but it's distorted, so bear with me for like 2 minutes. It's gonna be weird. I have done nothing with my life today. It's Saturday. I posted the vlog last night for the 3rd week of February, and I've just been sleeping. I got up early so I could take my husband to get his windows tinted in his car. He got them tinted a little darker. I don't know how he does it. I can't drive with tints. I feel like I can't see. We went to the grocery store and got groceries just now, and so there was a little lady who had a suspicion. Look at Pisces baby and her pretty little smile. And would you just read what she has written there? You sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. And this is gonna make her suspicion sound even more accurate because I had the biggest craving for a chalupa. I don't eat fast food. It's not something I like. I've never even had a chalupa. I think that the last time I had it was in Pensacola when I was with my husband, actually. Just today I was with my husband and I was like, I want a chalupa. And he was like, I don't think you know what you're saying. And I was like, no, I need a chalupa. How would I know that if I've never even had one? And so I walked in there, because we can't roll down the windows, it's freshly tinted, right? He took me, I was like, let me just run inside so you can stay in the car. He's like, you're not walking around out here with these, what do you call them? I don't remember. He just doesn't let me walk around because we're not really in the best neighborhood. Like, nothing's gonna happen in the middle of the day, but still, people are kind of creepy. People are really creepy with leering around that area we were at. Anyway, so he comes with me and I ordered 2 chalupas. I said, I want 2 chalupas. And then she's like, that's it? And I was like, yes. And I just ate one. It was the most amazing thing I've ever eaten. And it's so disgusting because I don't do fast food. And I'm sure that I'll feel really disgusting here in about an hour, but now he's at a restaurant that has real food, home cooked. You know, he's gonna bring it home to take out and eat. We went grocery shopping and I could totally make food, but I think because I ate out, he was just gonna grab something so I didn't have to stand in the kitchen. I think he does that for me sometimes. He'll want to go so I don't be in the kitchen all the time, you know? Anyway, it was the strangest thing because I've never even had a chalupa. I've never had a chalupa, and I was like, I want a chalupa. I need a chalupa. What's on it? I asked after the fact. She rang me up, I paid, and I was like, does it have sour cream? And then she told me everything that was on it, and I was like, okay, perfect. I don't know what I was asking for. I don't know what I was asking for. But I ate that thing, and I still have another one right here. Waiting. This is a shirt that Stephanie got me, and I love it so much. What else is going on with my life? I got stuff to make 2 different kinds of pastas. One of them is very simple, but I cannot find a can of golden mushroom soup anywhere, and that's the kind I usually use, so I'm just gonna have to use cream of mushroom. Like, that's all I can do. It's a super simple pasta, though, that I was gonna make for you guys, and then the other one I'm gonna make is bacon carbonara, so I'll be making both of those. And, yeah. I haven't vlogged yet today, so I didn't even take a shower. I crawled out of bed, took my husband to get his tints, brought him back home, waited until they called and left again to take him to his car. Then we got back home. I did nothing with my life at all. And then got a chalupa that I'm already burping up, and I kind of feel gross. I might not eat the second one. It was a grave mistake. Anyway, bye guys. I want hash browns. I'm gonna eat these. So what I'm gonna do in order to speed up the process is I'm gonna pierce them with a fork and stick them in the microwave. You see me in this shirt all the time and my dad laughs because I got it from my dad. I call it my Mountain Man shirt, better known as my perfect shirt. Not because the shirt is perfect, but it is. But it's because whenever I wear it, my husband's like, "Are you cold?" I was like, "No, I'm perfect." So he calls it my perfect shirt. So I don't know how deep you're supposed to pierce potatoes, but I'm always terrified of it exploding in the microwave. So I go ahead and I just pierce the ever-loving crap out of it pretty good. Just to help soften them up, because if you were to dice raw potato and throw it in the frying pan and try to make hash browns that way, I feel like they'll burn before the inside gets tender. So I always like to speed it up a little. Oh my gosh, my eyes are watering. Holy smokes. This is a strong one. I cannot see anything. My eyes. My eyes. Oh heaven. Lord in heaven. If you start to go blind from onions, cease your cutting until you gain your composure. Please. I beg of you. I absolutely love sunny side up or over easy eggs, but I'm not allowed to have those right now. I need to have them scrambled. If you want really crispy potatoes, just sprinkle a tiny bit of flour over the top so when you flip them over, they'll get a bit more crisp. Just like a fried potato, just like when you fry something, you know? So I woke up, it's Sunday morning right now. I woke up at 1:44 because my husband was getting a phone call from work telling him he had to be in at 6. So I rubbed his belly to try to put him back to sleep, because when you wake up jutting awake from a phone call at almost 2 o'clock in the morning, it's hard to go back to bed. So then I got up and I made his breakfast, put some juice in a little container, put his vitamins there, got his water ready because he has a huge clean canteen that I fill with ice and water, and I had everything prepped and I left him a little note, and then I laid back down so that when he got up in the morning he could just go. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about that. Is it weird to just stare at my sizzling potatoes as I talk? Whatever, it's my video and I'm gonna do it. The way that I show how I love is through my actions. You guys ever read that that book? Oh yeah, look at that. You ever read that book, The 5 Love Languages, or whatever it is? Where it's like gift giving, time spending, words, or like, I don't really know. I've never read it, but it made me think about all the different kinds of ways there are to love. And I definitely find joy in doing things like that for my husband. He was like, "Oh my gosh, you didn't have to do that," because I got up in the middle of the night and I, got his stuff ready, and he was really appreciative and grateful, and it's not a hassle for me, is what I'm trying to say. Like, that kind of thing does not bother me, especially since I didn't have to work today. He does. I can literally just go back to bed, which I did, and I just find so much joy in being able to do that for him. It just really made my day. So my question to you is, what are the different ways you show your love to your loved one? It brings you joy to just do blank for them. I'd love to hear your answers. I love it when you guys have stories and you tell me about you and your mom or your husband, and I just get to know you. So I really love to hear when you guys have personal stories and you share those with me. Those are probably some of my favorite comments to read because I feel like I get to know you. It's kind of one-sided, right? You know a lot about me, but I don't know much about you, so when people take the time to share that with me, it makes me feel really good. So I would love to know what it is that makes you feel joy and how you share your love with the person you love. Bonus question. Was that the bonus question? I have a bonus question. If you're single, how do you show love to yourself? That is probably even more important. I've learned that I never really gave myself much love or time for myself, or pampered myself. I mean, at least I haven't in a long time. So I've learned that that's a necessity. But let's just have a look at this situation. I think it looks pretty tasty. I noticed before in my breakfast making video that it was just very silent. And I didn't know if you thought I should add music to the background, or if it was just like the sound of the wrapper, the avocado, the pouring of the juice, if it was just weird for it to be quiet. I wasn't sure. What do you think? Do I need music or not? I filmed a Let Me Try That. I got this alarm clock from Amazon and it shows the time on the ceiling. Yes, that's 4:38 a.m. Would you look at the moon? It's gigantic. That right there, that's the moon. Oh, of course, the train would ruin everything. The train always ruins everything. When you see your husband at PSD. Hello, darling. I just saw my husband at PSD. Well, actually, I was leaving my command driving and I saw him coming, and I always get really super excited when you, like, do you remember when you were younger or whatever, and you saw your best friend out at the grocery store with her mom and you were with your mom and you didn't know that they were going to be there? Just to see someone that you know out in public is super exciting. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's my husband. So I flipped around in the middle of the road and then I chased him into the parking lot to say hi. But now I'm at dental, so I'm gonna go check out of dental. I was gonna make this a Let Me Try That, but I'm way too nauseous to even deal. Like, I don't even want to do this. But my husband needs food, so I'm trying to just put my own woes aside. This is the angel chicken pasta. I often make this during the week because it's super easy, as you can tell. All you need is chicken breasts, a 1/4 cup butter, a package of Italian seasoning mix, white wine. I always buy white wine in these small little thingies because I don't drink, and if I open a whole bottle, I feel like it goes to waste. I used to freeze it, but it was just such a nuisance. So I'm really happy when I can find wine in these mini bottles. And then a can of golden mushroom soup. I couldn't find it, but I just realized I had an extra one in my pantry, so that's good news. Then all you need is 4 ounces of cream cheese with chives and some pasta. So let me get that pasta water going, and it says here to preheat the oven to 325. I put it at 375, and I'll probably crank it up to 400 because I've always done it my own way. It says, in a large saucepan, melt the butter over low heat. Stir in a package of the dressing mix, blend white wine and golden mushroom soup. Mix in the cream cheese and stir until smooth. Heat through, but do not boil. Arrange chicken breasts in a single layer. Like, why? Why use all these extra pans? So what I did was put the butter in the oven while it's preheating so it'll melt. Then I'll just mix everything literally in my 9x13 and then set the chicken on top. Not for 60 minutes, more like a half hour because I crank it up to 375, 400, but it's a really super simple recipe. It's from allrecipes.com and it's called the angel chicken pasta if you want to have yourself a look at that. It says 4 ounces of this. This is an 8-ounce thingy. I'm just going to estimate about half of this. Can you see that? Whatever. I'm gonna mix all this crap in like they tell you to. I'm gonna estimate half a cup because I don't feel like measuring. That was way more than half. That's probably more like 3/4, but whatevs. I had a request from Miss Dang to redo my, or at least update my kitchen gadget video, and this is definitely going to be in one of them. I love how it fits in cans, and it even fits in the tiny tomato paste can. And I'm gonna stick this back in the oven for maybe a minute to get that cream cheese warm, and then I'll pull it back out, mix it, and then stick the chicken in and put it back in. There is salt in the soup, a lot of it, and in that zesty Italian seasoning packet. And I put pepper on the chicken anyway, just a tiny bit, because I find I can stand to do that. I've cooked the chicken whole in this concoction before. Just to speed up the process, I decided to chop it up today, because I end up usually chopping it anyway so that I can fit it in the pasta bowls, evenly distribute the chicken chunks, you know. After I mix it around here, I'm just going to throw it in the oven for however long. After about 10 minutes, I stick one in. I stick the thermometer in just to see where the chicken is, and then gauge it from there. Check it every now and again so I don't overcook the chicken, because the chicken will become tough if you overcook it, and I do not like overcooked tough chicken. At 12 minutes, the chicken's internal temperature was 133. It needs to be 160. 160. Why is this upside down? So I put it in for 5 more minutes. I'm going to use a whole entire pound box of rotini. The chicken was done at 375 after 19 and a half minutes. So just call it 20 minutes at 375 and it'll be done. I've got my rotini. I love putting just cooked pasta directly into the sauce because the noodles just soak it right up. I think it combines well that way. Again, I will just distribute this into my glass Pyrex. I'll keep a couple in the fridge, one for dinner tonight, one for lunch tomorrow, and then I'll keep the rest in the freezer, noodles and all, so that I can just pull out for convenience. And it keeps just fine. I've kept pasta in the freezer. I've kept just the sauce. I've also kept noodles and sauce like I have here in the freezer for a month, and I haven't noticed anything. It probably could have even been in the freezer for longer. So voila. This is rated, it might be an 8.5. I don't know. It's a good 8. Like, I like it. 8's very good. 10 is excellent. I keep eating it though. My appetite is back. I rate recipes purely on taste. I should start a scale of level of difficulty, because this, if I had to combine level of difficulty and taste, it would be higher than an 8, because it is super easy to make and it's definitely a go-to. You get people that will tell you not to pre-wash your fruit, but I do it all the time. And I actually arrange my fruit. If I find a strawberry can stand a little bit more time, I won't put it in my lunch bowls for the next 2 days. I'll use the more ripe ones, and I'll just sort my fruit to be eaten first by pieces. It sounds time consuming, but this is when I look for fruit that's gonna go bad anyway, that I need to throw out so it doesn't contaminate the rest of the fruit. But like really soft berries, I'll eat right now, because you can always have a berry. But ones that I feel like are soft enough to go in the next couple of days, I'll put in the fruit cups to serve up immediately. When I say immediately, I mean in the next like 3 to 4 days. They last quite a while.
Okay.
And we buy fruit and berries once a week, and I never ever get mold, so I must be doing something right. I wash it and I don't have a problem. I wash it, I sort it, and I don't get rancid fruit. After you wash it, I pat it dry with a paper towel. Drying it is very important, I forgot to mention. And for those of you that say, oh, I wish I could food prep, you can. Absolutely no part of me in the world whatsoever wanted to do this right now. It really is about not listening to the excuses in your brain. I don't feel well, I'm tired, I just want to go to bed. When you sit there and listen to your head tell you all of these excuses, you're not going to feel well either way. You're going to going to bed knowing things didn't get done, and you'd rather have your food finished. You'd be so relieved tomorrow. What you see me tossing are just ones that are a little too soft, that were too ripe, that are split, that I fear might contaminate, so I just toss it in the sink. No part of me in my brain wanted to get up off that couch and cook food or wash the fruit. But once you stop thinking about it, you literally just train your brain to start moving your legs, and the next thing you know, you're standing, next thing you know, you're in the kitchen. Next thing you know, it doesn't become that hard. You stop fighting it once you're in the middle of doing it. It's just like, well, here I am. And then when you sit down, you're so relieved that it's finished. I'm not a motivated person. I am born a very extremely lazy person. And one thing that my husband taught me is F your feelings. Once you start to consider, I don't feel like it, I don't want to, then you're never going to get it done. You have to start moving before your brain starts acting like that. Like, I was sitting on the couch, I was like, I don't want to do this. And I was not feeling this at all. And my brain was like, you can do it tomorrow. You have enough food for tomorrow. He can just have a banana. But as you can see, here I am almost finished, and it feels pretty good. And though I'd like to sit down still, I'm not dying. I'm alright. Grapes for me last considerably longer, and I do like to snack on them throughout the day. So if I keep them washed and peeled from the stem in a bowl, it's just more convenient, and I find that I'll actually eat them. Because if I just stick the whole bag in the fridge, not washed, on the stem, I'm like, ugh. Every time I look at it, I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to clean that. I don't want to pick them off the stem. I don't want to get them prepped and eat them. But if they're like this, you could just grab them by the handful. I tend to eat them a lot more than I would if I had to prep them still. Anyhow, I'm not going to say it's going to work every time to ignore your brain, because I've definitely lost the battle. But despite whether you feel like it or not, really just try to ignore all of the excuses you start writing in your brain. If you just sit there like I do, like just excuse after excuse, and then you put one foot on the floor and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. Then you just put the other foot on the floor and you're like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. But you just train your body to react differently than what your mind is telling it to do. So instead of listening to your mind, your body's slowly moving forward. The next thing you know, you're a whole lot more productive than you would be if you just listened to all the excuses in your brain. Now, I'm slightly confused because my husband told me, and this is what he said, I quote, "Some green thing fell out of the fridge, so I put it in a bag." And I have been hunting for this elusive, this mysterious, this green thing. And I mean, to me, it could be parsley, it could have been a cucumber, like, I have no idea. So anytime I'm in the fridge, I look to see if I can tell what he was talking about, but I don't have a clue, and I still haven't found it yet. And every time I open the fridge, I keep thinking, green thing? What is he talking about? Green thing? What green thing? And And by put it in a bag, did he put it in a sandwich bag? Did he put it in a plastic sack? Did he put it in a fruit, like, sack that the fruit comes in? I'm so confused by his statement. Also, a fun tip, I've noticed with your enameled cookware or like your old Pyrex, a lot of people have these orange, like cooked on stains on their old Pyrex and they swear they can't get it off. But I'm telling you that an SOS pad, I need to add that to my favorites in the kitchen too. An SOS pad. Those things work so beautifully. I don't use it every time, just when I've got a cooked on stain that is being stubborn, but I usually get off everything by soaking it a couple minutes and then washing it. A lot of people cook in enameled cookware. They'll lay it in the sink overnight soaking. However, the bottom of your cookware sometimes is treated, but oftentimes not. This is just bare stone. If you let this stone soak in water, it becomes soft, and a lot of people started getting cracking cookware and they didn't know why. Their cookware, they would eventually over time put it in the stove and then it would just crack. But it's because they soak it. You shouldn't soak your bare stone like that. So when I talk about soaking it, I just fill it to here. The bottom of the sink is dry. I fill it to here, let it soak while I'm prepping fruit or whatever, and then I just wash it that night and I'm good to go. So I never soak it because of the bottom. Fun fact. And if you've done that for years, maybe you've got a piece of great cookware that has a ton of durability, but a lot of new stuff nowadays just isn't made like isn't made the way it used to be made. So you have to treat it with a little bit more care, I find. I made it. It feels good to sit down. I forgot to mention when I was doing my fruit, if ever, I do check my fruit often. I'll check it now and again, and if I feel like the fruit isn't going to make it to be eaten, I'll just put it in a sandwich bag, suck out the air, and put it in the freezer and use it for a smoothie. So I never throw out fruit because you don't have to. You can just freeze it and use it in a smoothie or whatever. And like some people like frozen grapes. I don't know how I feel about them. I've tried them. I like them kind of, but not enough. I prefer them to not be frozen. But I'll eat them if they're frozen. What is that? Oh, that's my tripod case. Anyhow, yeah, that's all I was gonna say. Bye! I made a pot pie. I don't remember what day I made the pot pie. I thought I filmed it, but I wasn't recording the entire time. Anyway, I added a little turmeric to the pot pie, and it has a beautiful golden color, the sauce or the gravy or whatever. An egg wash makes all the difference here. It's a nice golden brown. It doesn't look very beautiful on the camera, but I promise it is gorgeous. Hi, don't I look crazy? It is 80 degrees in my apartment, and I am hot and uncomfortable, and I cannot wait to get out of San Diego. I have never been so ready for anything in my entire life. I hate this place. I hate that it's so hot all the time. That is not my kind of weather. I'm a grouch when I'm hot, i.e. right now. However, my day is about to be made a whole lot better because my BFF from back home, Cassie, sent me a little surprise. Ooh! I don't know if I can show the YouTube. I don't know if you guys are ready. Ooh! Oh my gosh. Let me read the card first. I could just be emotional right now, but I cry a lot anyway. Look, I love all the cat cards. Look at this. Cassie, I love you. Well, look what I got. I got a little baby. I got a little baby booty. Oh my gosh. Etsy, you know, I've been reading a lot about things on Etsy that I really need to scour the Etsy. That's for sure. Look at this. I love it. Okay. So, oh, she told me about this. She told me about this in the card. Oh, he's soft. Oh, he's nice and soft. He's super soft. It's gonna look like the baby's getting giraffe kisses. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Thank you, Cassie. I cried. Oh, gosh. I'm so ready for this new adventure. Thank you. I love you to bits. I can't wait to come home and see you and visit you all the time. Bye. I'm breaking out like I've never broken out before. I remember the first time I sat here and I did my makeup, my husband was sitting on the couch. I use this. Let's wait for this lawn guy to go by. My husband was like, he said something about my lips, because the foundation or BB cream or whatever it says covers your lips. Well, I just put it all over my face, you know? Scary. So I think that my husband asked me if I needed chapstick or something. He asked me something and then I laughed. I was like, it's my makeup. It's not, my lips are not gray and ashy. Silly. So anyhow, I wanted to chat. I wanted to discuss a few things with you because I was hesitant. This is a bit informal, but I've never been one to make lavish announcements and things like that. I just get down in front of the camera and I chat with you. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm pregnant. As you've probably guessed by now. Sneaky, sneaky Pisces baby. She must be a mom because she knows the symptoms. And I'm sure a lot of you do too. A lot of people were asking. But I made that video trying to feel it out. Like, I can obviously not put in that I was exhausted, that I wanted something sour, that I was really hot and I loved my icy. Just different things that would lead you to believe I was pregnant. I was going to intentionally omit, but I left them in there just to see how this would go. Hi. So I know I'm super excited. I need to forewarn you, however, because I do a little bit of a get ready with me, and in that get ready with me, I was very emotional, and I start to rant about things, and I don't want it to put you off, and I felt bad after I said it, but I have to post it because I do mean what I say. But I was just like, wow, how could I put that in the same video? Because this is a super exciting time, a congratulatory, like, I know a lot of people were hoping to see that I was pregnant, and I am, but I don't think that they expected that to be followed up with a rant, and I didn't expect to either, but I have been a wave of emotions lately, so please forgive me, but I kind of laughed at it when I was editing it, so I was like, it's fine, because it made me laugh that I was so worked up already from something that didn't even happen yet. But just ignore my rant, but don't ignore it.
Just don't take it to heart. Because I'm not even talking about anyone directly. I'm talking about these people I've made up in my brain, which I often do with anxiety. You ever like create scenarios in your brain and then you perpetuate it and then it becomes escalated and then it becomes a situation that you're terrified of that hasn't even happened yet? Yeah, that is who I'm talking to in this rant. Invisible, hypothetical people. Not you guys. I don't know what I'm saying. My back hurts. Okay, bye! Oh, I can't use the space bar to shut this off. How do I shut this off?
I decided that I would just let y'all know. Yeah, I'm pregnant. Can you believe it? I'll do a separate video, maybe this weekend, about how I found out and that whole thing. But I did want to say that I probably won't do like a whole entire series of pregnant videos. I know that a lot of people do that, and someone had messaged me about my being pregnant. Are you pregnant? You should do a pregnancy video to help you get more subscribers. I've never made videos in my entire life to get subscribers. I've made videos for myself to help people with information because it was just easier to make a video about something versus answering the same question 8,000 times. So I've always tried to be helpful and informative and just to make videos for myself because I've always thought it was fun. I've never promoted my channel. I've never asked people to subscribe to me, and I never will. So my mission has never been to be a YouTube, the people that you think of, that it just becomes so, it loses its personal touch when you become like a mass YouTube. And I'm not excited if that were to happen, but if it does happen, whatever. But I never want people to treat me like I'm not a human being. That's why I get weirded out in the comments if someone's like, she. Someone asked me in my last video, is she driving stick? So I commented back and I was like, by she, I was like, yes, she is, or I am. Who are you asking? And it's just weird for me. And I understand that the mentality is on YouTube that people don't read their comments, so it's easier to ask the masses a question about the person in the video versus asking the person in the video, but I never want to lose that. I feel like that's where the disconnect happens and people start to treat you like you're a robot, and that's where the fearless, like the troll things start to happen, where they feel like they can just say anything about you because it's not personal anymore. That's how come people get really horrible, awful comments like Dulce Candy or Jaclyn Hill. They get the nastiest comments, but the people commenting treat them like they're not a human. So in my comment section, I feel like that's where we talk, you and me. I understand y'all talk to each other, but when you talk to someone else about me, I'm still, like, it's like, I'm in the room, I can see you. It's just weird to have people talk about you in front of you, but people don't feel like it's in front of you because they treat YouTube like it's different, and it is different than real life, but I never want to lose the connect that people understand that I am reading everything. I am involved in the comments, and I don't ever want to be treated like I'm some person that can't be touched. It's just some person in a screen. I'm not. I'm a human. It's just me. So what am I talking about? So I never want to, so getting big on YouTube has never been a mission of mine. So I don't care what would get me more subscribers because that's not what I'm looking for. I like our little group. I like who we have here. So as far as making pregnancy videos, I will probably tell a story about how I learned I was pregnant, but I won't, I'm just trying to avoid this. Listen, so what has happened to a lot of my friends, like through Facebook or whatever, or anybody that I've known to be pregnant, they get a lot of unsolicited advice, and I'm just not ready for that. This is something very intimate and personal. Hello, I've never been pregnant before. This baby is mine, and I don't want to share it. It belongs to my husband and I. I shouldn't say it's just mine. And I
feel a little protective. I'm sure you act that way at your first kid, and your second kid, you're just like, whatever. Or maybe not, I don't know. But I just want to avoid the invasive nature people have when you become pregnant. They invite their opinions, they give you unsolicited advice, they tell you you should do this, you should eat that, you shouldn't this, are you going to breastfeed, are you going to have an epidural, are you going to use cloth diapers, are you going to make your own baby food, you shouldn't lay on your right side, you should only lay on your left side, you shouldn't lay on your back, are you taking prenatals, you should do this for nausea, are you experiencing this, like, my head is already spinning. Please believe that I have a few very close friends of mine that have been pregnant and are pregnant right now. And I have a mom. And I have a very close-knit group of people that I ask questions to. I also research probably more than anyone has ever researched a pregnancy. Literally, I will spend 4 to 6 hours a day reading everything. Watching YouTube videos, reading my books, calling my friends, asking them questions. I'm like I said just before in the other vlog, about meditation, when something happens to me, or if I want something, or if something's going on, I consume myself with information. So I'm pretty well covered and well versed, though I've never been pregnant before. But I feel like other people's pregnancy cannot apply to mine, because even their pregnancies, first, second, and third, are sometimes completely different than the last. So how can what they say, be how can I be in dire need of their advice when I've got a lot of info? So I just feel like, and I'm not going to share my due date, I'm not going to share what trimester I'm in, I'm not going to share any of that, because I want to avoid the incessant questions about my life, because I am in control of what I share. But I feel bad when someone asks a question and I don't answer. So I don't ever want to be the person in the to write them back and be like, I don't want to talk about it, because I feel like that's rude. So I just want to avoid questions entirely, and that's why I wasn't even going to tell the YouTubes I was pregnant, because I just didn't want to. When I feel comfortable, I will share things. When I feel like it. As much as I'm willing to share, that's what I will share. I will not overshare. I will not let people control my content by berating me with, do you know what I mean? Anyway. I just know that that's that's just how it goes a lot of times when you become pregnant. For some reason, you just become everybody's business. I don't want to be everybody's business, which is very strange if you think about it, because I am on YouTube. I put what seems to be my life on YouTube. I've talked about intimate things like my anxiety. I've talked about a lot of things on YouTube. However, that is literally probably 20% of me. I don't share everything about me. I'm very private. So it may feel like you know me, and you probably do, but as far as really knowing me, you don't. And I don't want to make that distance you from me, but I do want that to help you see that I will never open up my entire life to the public. Like, I don't think that anybody really does. There are YouTubers that vlog everything, like the famous vloggers, the shaytards or whatever, and they still probably don't put every single thing on the internet. You know what I mean? Like, you have to respect that humans are humans. They are on YouTube, and people say, yeah, but you're on YouTube. This is what you do. You're obligated to. No, I'm not. No, I'm absolutely not. And that kills me, because I've read comments in their comment sections like, you signed up for this. I signed up for as much as I want of this. I put the videos out. I make these. I post them if I want to. I owe no one anything. The people that are vlogging owe no one anything.
You should show us a picture of your kids. Who was I watching? This girl she was a makeup guru lady who had a kid, and people were pissed that she hadn't posted a picture of her own child yet. Like, that is not your kid. Yes, she signed up for YouTube. Yes, she has a channel, and that's what she does, but she has every right to share as much or as little of her life that she wants, especially when it's the life of someone else, i.e. her child. Like, people are so self-entitled and invasive, and I'm afraid of that. I haven't experienced a lot of that personally, but I am wary. So I ask, please, forgiveness if I am being very defensive, but I would really like to establish some boundaries for my life, for my channel. Does that make sense? I feel like everybody just now after that rant was like, oh gosh. But you have to respect the fact that I'm hormonal. So I am very full of zest at the moment. So what I think and feel right now is amplified. So now I feel rude, like I've already lectured people and it might not have even happened. But I've already like went in on a rant. Sorry. A big reason that I don't want this to turn into a huge pregnancy series is I feel like people are gonna ask me a lot of things and I never want to mislead anyone. I would get worked up about Navy videos because I didn't want to give them the wrong information, but I could only imagine what would I feel like if I gave someone the wrong information and they're pregnant and something goes terribly wrong. I don't want to be held responsible for that. And by held responsible, I mean that my conscience will make me feel bad because I overthink things because I have anxiety. So that's a huge reason why I'm also a little nervous about putting anything out, because I am still battling anxiety. And I just want people to know. Will I eventually talk about things? Oh yeah, definitely. Totally will. But I'm just saying right now, until I experience it, until I've made a decision, until I've researched enough, I don't want to talk about it. Meanwhile, there's 2 weeks until I'm officially out of this place called San Diego. And I'm really excited. Now it's time to do a little something with my hair. I have so many little gray hairs. I love them. They're up under here. A lot of people never make it to gray hair, you know? They get sick or an accident happens. You never know if you'll live long enough to see gray hair. Granted, I'm not very old, but I super love the age that I am. Why are people upset that they're 50? Why are people upset when they turn 30? You need to be grateful that you were able to turn X age, you know? Why do people look at it like it's such an awful thing? Look how blessed you are that you've been able to be alive still. I feel like that's so, people take that stuff for granted, like that's life that you've taken for granted. You are not guaranteed life forever. You are not guaranteed life until you're 50. You're not guaranteed life through tomorrow. So how could you not celebrate your age? Like, look how far I've made it. Look at this. God is so good. I am on this earth still. I've created so many memories of people that love me. It's just a good feeling to be grateful, to make it another year. I'm excited to be older. Can you imagine all the memories that will have been made? All of the things that I'll have experienced, all of the new people, the new loved ones that will have appeared in my life at that time. It's just all very exciting. Use my phone as a mirror. That'll do. Look at that big old long gray hair. Look at him, look at him, look at him. Look at him right here. I love it. Hello, white hair. Can you guys see how white it is? Super exciting! Whoa, what's wrong with my face? Have you ever watched Jada on Food Network, Jada? Watch her show, and the next time you watch, count how many times she says, "There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go." It's a lot. There we go. Two things just happened to me. The one just happened right now, and I had to tell somebody. A student driver pulled up in the left turn lane right next to me, and she was so close to my car that I could touch their rear view mirror. I saw them coming, and I was like, wow, because she was super close to my car as she pulled up, because they were going to turn left. And I looked over, and the man who had his little clipboard or whatever was looking at me like, oh my gosh. And I was looking at him like, wow. And she was literally, her rear view mirror almost touched mine. I was just like, how is she so close to me right now? Anyway, but before that, I wanted to do something nice for someone, right? You ever try to do something nice for someone and then it just goes strangely awry, like quickly? So I'm waiting to pull out of a parking lot, and I see an old man. He wants to get into the same lane I am, but his nose is kind of pointed at me, and his hood is open. So I roll down my window. He's got somebody in his passenger side. I roll down my window, and I'm like, "Excuse me, sir, your hood is open." And then he was like, they both kind of looked at me, and I was like, "Your hood is open." And then I could see them like, "What?" And I was like, "Your hood, it's unlatched." And still nothing. And I was like, "Your hood is not secure. It's up. Your hood is not down." And then finally he was like, "Oh." So they had turned around, and I suppose they went to go put it down, but we were all about to get on the highway. At least I assume, because everybody that takes that road is about to get on the highway. So I was like, let me just save that poor man. They had a wheelchair handicap sticker in their thing, and they were probably hard of hearing and probably shouldn't have been driving. This hood was completely open. I don't even think it was latched. I think it was just popped over. You could just pull it. Anyway, but I was trying to be nice, and I was leaving. I missed my turn like several cars by because I was trying to communicate to him that his hood was not secure. Anyway, bye! So I've been reflecting on things because we're moving, right? In just a couple weeks, and I was laughing at all of the names that we've named our neighbors, because we've had a lot of neighbors. There's the mean old lady, there's Slippers guy, there's creepy smoker, there's Marley, there's horizontal girl, there's been a lot of them. All pretty good stories. I'll have to tell you about those later. But I gotta go. Okay, bye! It's Friday! Ah!